Sure. Building four robots simultaneously is no small feat, um, particularly when you're dealing with social care practice students who don't have a STEM background. What was the most significant technical or logistical challenge you faced during this project? How did you solve it?
Um, I would say probably the most difficult technical challenge probably was sourcing the um, the little motors, the servo motors, and hooking them up. Essentially, um, these motors sort of like work in series with each other. So one chains onto another, chains onto another, chains onto another. Each one had to be kind of ID'd separately. So getting the order of those correct took quite a bit of time to get right. But once you kind of like understood how that kind of like uh, ID system worked, and were able to talk to the talk to the motors individually, then it became easier.
Okay. And it also helps to have all your parts placed before you start the project.
Absolutely, yes, yeah. We were missing a motor to start off with, but yeah,
Yeah, which can hold
yeah.
the whole thing up, as you said.
Yeah, because in any build of this nature, things can go wrong.
Yeah.
Can you share a specific moment where a student or the group hit the proverbial wall and how you guided them through the troubleshooting process to get the robot working?
So actually, to be honest, the students guided me because they were fantastic at kind of problem solving. Um, we came upon an issue where the kind of the kind of hubs essentially that connect here um, weren't in the right position, so therefore it wasn't working properly. Um, and and somebody kind of spotted that we were kind of putting them on the wrong way around. So, you know, problems like that where you've got a group of people kind of looking at a problem, and everybody can kind of get in and see what's going on. Um, it's really handy. So um, there's that, and then there's the kind of computer side of things, the kind of coding side of things, and like I say, that getting to talk to the individual motors took a bit of time, and one of the students went away and had a little conversation with Chat GPT to to work out what might be going wrong with it, uh, and it allowed us to kind of come up with a method that we could then share with the group, and then get everybody up to speed on how to get theirs working. So yeah, like really it's that kind of like collaborative problem solving group dynamic that really helps with a project like this.
And I would say that a place like the makerspace really encourages that sort of approach. That is, the makerspace is not here to teach people how to do things, but how to
Yeah,
solve problems. Really, isn't it?
absolutely. Yeah, the makerspace is essentially it's an open environment where people can come in and experiment and try things out and get things wrong and learn from, if you're in a group, learn from other people in that group. So it's the perfect environment where you're not under pressure to just, I have to get this done within the next 60 minutes because my lesson's finishing. Um, you know, i- it's a place where you can come back to time and time again to sort of like work on a problem, and or work on a project. Um, so like we had, I can't even remember now exactly. We had probably 6 sessions building the robot and getting all the parts working. And it was a kind of an iterative process of testing bits along the way, getting the base moving first, then getting each of these uh, motors working, and then working on the design for the skin and the ears. And across the groups that we had, everybody had a different idea about how they wanted theirs to look. And so we're able to sort of see what the pros and cons of each one of those were. Our is it gonna be too restrictive and it's going to restrict the movement? Are the ears going to be too heavy and the thing's going to fall over? So there's, all those things allow you, and this environment allows you to sort of like experiment and try out different ideas.
Things going wrong can be very helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Failure is always an option, as they say.
There was an issue, was there not, around the connectivity to get the robot communicating with the software?
Yeah.
Do you want to walk us through that and maybe give us an
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So like I was saying, the documentation on these particular servo motors was scant, to say the very least. And the sort of sample program that they gave us from the project website, I think we realized was built for a slightly different version of these. So when we were trying to run it, it just wasn't communicating properly with it. And we thought that we had the wrong kind of like widget to connect to it. And we thought that we were going to be able to sort of power the whole thing just straight off of a computer. Turned out both those things were kind of right and wrong at the same time. It turned out we needed an exact voltage for the motors, and we needed an exact configuration for the widget. Once we realized that, and we went out and we purchased some power adapters and got the right settings, it all kind of fell into place. And that was done, like I say, through the help of a bit of Googling and a bit of Chat GPT, just letting us try out different settings, going in, trying that. Yes, we got one working, but we don't get the other one working. And then just going backwards and forwards.